It's a YouTube show full of fun facts you need to know. Carl rings the bell and the members show to the GMP Morning Show. Featured guests will come and they will blow your mind. The audience will do so in kind. A little vanity mixed with some insanity on the morning show with GMP. Hey, Gumpers.
Sexta-feira, todos. Olá, bom dia, alegria. Munson here from expatsportugal.com with the Good Morning Portugal live stream show and podcast. How are you today? My weekend starts late on a Thursday evening. Great webinar last night. Great Premium Plus session, meeting the new folks on the course. Great evening last night. And Nunu did us proud on the webinar. Everything you wanted to know about Portuguese insurance in Portugal. Nunu's your man, of course, a regular guest here, and a brilliant presentation last night, which will be available on our YouTube channel as soon as I get it together. Talking of getting things together of a video nature, moving pictures, films, that sort of thing. Yes, quite right, Leona, you pointed out that Owen is not on the opening sequence. He and many others, I'm afraid to say, until I get round to creating a new opening sequence. So apologies to those fine folk who are not on the opening sequence. You may have noticed others who aren't on there, but next time I re-edit the opening sequence. Owen and everybody who make a fine contribution to this show will be on there, immortalized on the internet. Next week's webinar, just so that we mention it now and don't forget, look at this. This will be of great interest to a lot of people, I think, moving to Portugal. Comfortable living in an older Portuguese house. Now, whilst that might conjure up images of lounging on a Chesterfield in a silk kimono, possibly, a comfortable living in an older Portuguese house, surrounded by azulejos, perhaps, dark furniture. No, we're not talking about that sort of comfortable living. We're talking about how to make the house cozy, not damp, not cold, and how to get rid of pests. Thomas Malloy of Rehabilitation, part of the team, part of the Ask Our Expats team here at Expats Portugal, will be leading that webinar there with a fine presentation, I'm sure. So do book in for that now. That's available on the website, expatsportugal.com. And that'll be comfortable living in an older Portuguese house. Mrs. M, started telling it as it was. After being interviewed by Josh of Expats Everywhere, they did another video. They're one of their most popular, if not the most popular. What he didn't tell you, he being me, and Mrs. M jumped on there and had a chat with Kaylee and talked about some of the challenges that can be faced when living in an older house in Portugal. So the solution is there now, folks. Comfortable living in an older house. That's next Thursday's webinar, 28th of April, 7:30 until 9. Perfect. And talking of older houses, here's one. And I imagine Rebel Mama has sorted a few of those aforementioned challenges out. But more importantly, because of the big Freedom Day celebrations this coming Monday, we have, of course, introduced you to all we think you should know, the beginner's guide to, look at this, there was this date in Portuguese history special, 25th of April, the Carnation Revolution here in Portugal, a fantastic introduction to that, now in our YouTube library on our YouTube channel. Oh, thanks to all the recent subscribers as well. Love you. Thank you very much. Don't see you much on the show here because you get a special insignia that goes with your name when you become a YouTube member. And thank you to everybody who recently has become one of those. But yeah, this is what you'll find on our YouTube channel and the occasional extra bonus for those members. Anyway, this day in Portuguese history special, the prof took us through why it's useful to remember the Carnation Revolution. Key player there from the Carnation Revolution and iconic picture from 25 de Abril 1974. So 48-year anniversary on Monday. And of course, coming up to the 50th anniversary in 2024, which will be very exciting, I'm sure, in Portugal. And now Rebel Mama's carnations crocheted by hand. Look at that. They're beautiful, aren't they? And now proudly adorning the balcony. 25 de Abril, sempre! Great job, Rebel Mama. That's fantastic. and a beautiful view of the hills there up in northern Portugal. Oh, look, Frank will be with us at 9 o'clock. It's Feel Good Friday, folks. Oh, I think just sprayed the screen. The camera's saying that. I do apologize for that. But great job, Rebel Mama. It's Feel Good Friday. We will be in the company of Frank and special guest Cindy. While we're talking of celebrations, look at this. This is a pretty good celebration. I imagine Frank, although didn't he say last time he was with us, he was drinking less booze? Never thought I'd hear Frank and less booze mentioned in the same sentence, but there you go. Cindy B joining us because Cindy B has just launched a celebrant aspect to the wonderful work she does here in Portugal. That celebration, that's not necessarily connected with Cindy B. That's Anna sending that beautiful composition of some dry gin there. Is that strawberry in there? And a lime and a lemon. We do encourage responsible drinking, of course. But we're looking forward to talking to Cindy B between 9 and 10 about her new Celebrant series. You know, we're celebrating the Freedom Day on Monday, the Carnation Revolution. And there are all sorts of milestones that you might arguably celebrate when you move to Portugal, moving to Portugal being one of them. Getting your CEF appointment or getting your driving license back might be another. But there are many milestones that when you're in a new culture, you might not know how to plug in and celebrate those milestones of life. And Cindy B is stepping up to that plate. Looking forward to talking to her between 9 and 10 this morning and having a bit of a giggle with Frank. Oh, and let's do a dad joke, shall we? Before we go any further. This one's sent in from a guy who used to correspond with me. This is Andrew, living in Malta, actually. He's chosen Malta as his preferred retirement location. But one of these for you, my friend.
Warning.
Oh, no, indeed. In the comments now, are people born with a photographic memory, or does it take time to develop? Dear, oh, dear. Andrew, I suspect you can do better than that. Actually, no, I'm not sure if you can. Classic dad joke there. And I heard, yes, I was watching a rerun of Cuckoo. Great British, Mrs. M loved it. Great British, not British. Oh, there is an American in it. He is Cuckoo, of course, in every sense of the word. But dad joke there. Did you miss me? Yes, I did. Do I get another go? Right, and I think the recipient of that dad joke said, "Oh, dad joke." Okay, they needed our video for that, didn't they? Deagle's in this morning. Bon dia, Carl. Just noticed overnight. Great date to be born. 22/4/22. Yes, we didn't acknowledge 20 or 420, did we this week? I think some of you probably did. Talking of which, Amsterdam. Olá, bom dia, alegria a todos. De Amsterdam mais uma vez, Salero. So was that less of the sunny way in Amsterdam, or more another mais. Mais. More. You see, May in French throws me there, doesn't it, as a but? But no, it's quite the opposite. I think more sun there in Amsterdam, but I'm sure he'll put me right if that's not the case. Morning to you, Matty, and Baldylocks as well. Hola, bon dia, Gumpers. How are you this morning, Baldylocks? Always here with a nice welcome every morning. And can we have a little bit more from you this morning? Or have you gone back to sleep, Baldylocks? Bon dia, great Gumpers. Duma Lisboa chuvosa, rainy, and it says on my computer screen, thank you, Windows, raining now. I've got, as well as you, Windows, I've got a window that I can look out of to see if it's raining now. And actually, I don't think it is raining now. So what do you make of that? It's computers trying to be helpful. And so often, should we put a number on this? Computers, Silicon Valley, trying to be helpful. What's their hit rate? How, as a percentage? I think with every time a computer's tried to help me, I think it's about a 50% hit rate, right? More Portuguese sayings then from T-Duck. Morning to you, mate. É melhor prevenir do que remediar. It is better to prevent than to mend. Yes, it is always better to avoid a problem by being careful than having to solve it afterwards. Yes, we don't always remember that, do we? Hindsight is a wonderful thing, which could be another Portuguese phrase or saying that's coming up any minute now. A mentira tem pernas curtas. The lie has short legs. I wonder to what you are referring, T-Duck. Is Andy, and Andy will know what you're referring to, or will be appropriating that. A little saying to the UK, I think. Although the lie in the UK seems to have very long legs, doesn't it? Now I mention it. Lies do not go far. They are easily discovered and exposed. Yeah, you've got to have a good memory if you're getting up to those capers. Or not care at all, which is some people's approach, right? Para bom, aren't we learning a lot about narcissism in this day and age? Para bom entendedor, meia palavra basta. To a good understander, half a word is enough. To the intuitives of this world, if you've ever felt tempted to talk too much or oversimplify things, this saying is for you. What? What do you mean? Yeah, talking too much, guilty as charged. Bom dia, e quem não gosta de uma insinuação, he does this on purpose, doesn't he? Insinuação logo pela manhã. What does that mean? Morning to those who like what? Double entendres, is that? Insinuations, wordplay. Is that right? I don't know. Tell me what you mean there, Prof, if you will, who has, of course, for us, some of this. Down. Today in Portuguese history, 1500. Nice round number this morning. Pedro Álvares Cabral becomes the first European to reach Brazil, landing in what is now Porto Seguro, safe harbor, a city located in the far south of Bahia, Brazil. Wow. And that changed the course of history, did it not? And when you hear someone say, thank you, Prof, for these, when you hear someone say things were better under Salazar, tell them this. This weekend in Portuguese history, 1936, the Tarrafal concentration camp opens. Yes, indeed. Tarrafal was a PED concentration camp located on the island of Santiago in Cape Verde. Its first phase from 36 to 54 was aimed at Portuguese opponents. That sounds like a hellhole, doesn't it? All fascist regimes have them, don't they? In 1936, the first 157 anti-fascist detainees arrived from Lisbon. 157. They were forced to work for 45 days in extremely high temperatures to build the camp wall and other infrastructure. Oh dear, oh dear. And I think, yes, I think you picked up on that, didn't you? That there are people around who say that. You will hear that if you listen hard enough or go far enough. Things were better under Salazar. It's an easy thing for some people to say, isn't it? But Prof has addressed it right here. When the first illnesses began to appear, the only doctor present had no medicine to treat the patients, so he limited himself to issuing death certificates. My goodness. Sobering this weekend in Portuguese history. Thank you so much, Prof, for your cultural and historic education here every day of the week, every weekday. Thank you so much. And thank you for your special earlier on this week, celebrating the upcoming Freedom Day on Monday. What is everybody doing? Is everyone marking that? Let us know how you are marking that, if you will. A celebrant Cindy B may well have some tips for you. Dimitri Martin quote of the day from James. Good morning to you, such a slug magnet. They say you can tell a man apart from other animals by his ability to reason. I think you could also go by last names. So true, isn't it? What's his name? Patches? Patches what? That's a dog. Don't waste my time. Very good. And what's this? The frigideira or frying pan. I would have thought a frigideira. I had a little bit of a laugh and a joke at the gas bottle shop yesterday, which doubles up as a domestic goods, white goods shop in San Martino de Porto, right in the middle of town. Went out to the depot. That was shut. So I went to the shop to order a big bottle of gas. We're out of gas. We're using a camping stove in the kitchen. Should have planned that a bit better. I'm sure Nunu, as a scoutmaster, would have planned that a bit better. Although he would have probably been cooking over an open fire in the garden in such a situation. But big gas bottles, I think last time I bought 115 euros, yesterday 130. A huge 15 euro price hike there. A cost of living crisis. What's that all about? Frigideira or frying pan was a place of punishment. Oh my goodness, we're talking about the concentration camp again. Sorry, I was going off on a little bit of a comical riff there. Let's pull it back to the concentration camps as created by Salazar. The frigideira or frying pan was a place of punishment where prisoners were tortured, being deprived of food, light, and under temperatures between 50 and 60 degrees centigrade. The frying pan was responsible for the death of 30 prisoners and the sickness of dozens of others. Dear, oh dear. The second phase, which reopened the camp on April the 14th of 1961, It began to hold militants from the national liberation struggles of the Portuguese colonial war in Angola, Guinea-Bissau, and Cape Verde. Following the Carnation Revolution in 1974, of course, the camp was closed forever 1 week later. And I want to know what happened as well. So thank you, Prof, again for that, a sobering reminder of what goes on when, how horrible humans can be to each other. Right here in this country, this formerly, historically, this country's administration, which people will be glad to celebrate at the back of next Monday. And what was I going to say there? Can't remember. If it's important, it will come back. What's that in Portuguese? Bon dia, folks. Baddies here as well. It's too wet out there today. It is. It's true. I love how many concepts appear to be universal and stated in so many ways in many different languages. Yes, of course. And interestingly, James, I mean, I think you might appreciate this. I was talking to the coach the other day, Coach Turner, a coach of the mind as well as the body. But, what is the relationship between how we structure the world and language? It is interesting, isn't it? That I think whatever language we speak does tend or begin to structure our thoughts, or they're sort of, they're hard to, you can't disconnect them, can you? How we create meaning is so much in our language, and how we see the world is so much in our language. And yet at the same time, different languages seem to recognize, as you're saying here, the universal concepts and truths. For example, English versions of Thunder's first saying, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And better safe than sorry, of course. And we've had one in the hand is worth two in the bush, haven't we? Bon dia. No, stop it. Bon dia. Bon fin de semana. First bon fin de semana. See, we start early here, don't we? On a good morning. I start on a Thursday night when it comes to the bon fin de semana, I can tell you. Happy times when I signed a long-term rental contract yesterday for years to come. Fantastic. More than 3 years. Is that what you've done, Anna? More or less impossible in my part of Portugal. It's all about contracts, isn't it? Yes, indeed. And do you remember talking to Daniel a few weeks ago about the law in Portugal? A little segment which I went back to yesterday. Which for you premium members, that's in your video library now, if you want to have a look at that, particularly that stuff about Portuguese wills. But no, not wills, contracts of residence, and a celebration for Anna here. It was Anna who was, of course, celebrating with gin. Look at that. There it is, the Foxtail Dry Gin. That's what that was all about. And if you want to have a little ceremony as well, Anna, stick around. I'm going to be talking to Cindy B all about that in a little while. Thank you for that, Anna. Congratulations to you. Good morning from the UK. What? We'll be back in Portugal on Monday, missing our friend Frank. And you sent in a beautiful picture of you guys. This is lovely, isn't it? Thanks, Jack, for this. There's Frank. There's Rachel. Superb. Our favorite Airbnb host. Frank will be with us in about 12 minutes' time, I think. Did I send the links out? I think I did. If I didn't, I'll soon find out about it. And do you think he's going to make mention of my turtleneck, polo neck again? Did he call me somebody who works in the principal's office last time he was here? I think he did. Let's see what he has to say about that this time. And let's see if he realized I was a little bit sensitive about it. But thanks to all of those of you who came to my aid when he started bullying me in that way. I'm sorry to spam the chat yesterday. Prof, the Lisbon Chamber unanimously approved free public transport in the... sorry to spam the chat. Not yesterday, but yesterday, the Lisbon Chamber unanimously approved free public transport in the city for young and elderly residents. Perfect. They've had it in Cascais, I found out last night, for some time, haven't they? Free buses around Cascais and Estoril. Well done, the Lisbon Chamber. And it was quite a day yesterday, wasn't it? No more mask wearing except for in vulnerable situations as of yesterday, although the reports about it were very confusing. Portugal News, Portugal resident, I know you wanted to be first and deliver the breaking news, but it really was very unclear as to what's happening. I think we're done. We are done in restaurants with masks. I, for one, am very pleased about that. And I felt a sense of relief akin to seeing a loved one I haven't seen for a long time. Not in quite the same intensity, but being able to see people's faces again, being free of the mask in hostelries, I think that's a great thing. And the time has come for that. Personal view. For those over 65, and if you want to wear a mask, of course, keep wearing it. For those over 65 from June or July, and for students until the age of 23 in September at the start of the next school year. There you go. Free bus travel, free public transport. Yeah, not just buses, but and public transport. There's all sorts of methods of transport in Lisbon, of course, isn't it? Even the ferries, I suspect. Wow, that's great. Midlife Crisis World Tour. Do you know if that's for the entire Lisboa region or limited to just the city? We'll find out, I think. It's Fandabidosi Friday. Gary's in a good mood this morning, isn't he? Or even supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. You didn't think I'd be able to say that, didn't you? And sounding a bit like Fred of the Flintstones, Gary. It was like, yabba-dabba-doo, Mary. Or is that Mary love? I wonder if that translates to Portuguese. I dread to think. Gemini, good morning, everyone. How are you doing? Or should I say Miss Poppins? What? Oh, Mary Poppins. I see what's happening now. Hola, bon dia from Sharon. Hey, Sharon, how are you? Happy fabulous Friday. Today's the 18th birthday of our Ukrainian housemate. Happy birthday, Danny. Daniil is that? I do beg your pardon. Daniil. I wonder if I've got that right. But happy birthday to you. You know who you are. Sharon, do pass on our best to your Ukrainian housemate, if you will. 18th birthday. Fantastic. Hola, bon dia, Gumpers from Sam in Nazaré. Every time I think of you now, I think of the vocal fry, Sam, and the effect the vocal fry is having on one's psyche. Isn't it funny what you remember about people? Happy birthday, everyone. Happy birthday, everyone. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Happy birthday, everyone. Why not? Parabéns, je vous say. 15 minutes on time. Well done. You see, it's paying off. He's even saying that. And Henry, I've just seen what's gone. I've just seen what you put in the comments, which on first look looks a bit serious, doesn't it? It's supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Are you challenging each other on spellings there? Frankie and Carl, what's not to live? It's not that bad, mate. Oh, no, you mean what's not to love. Yes, thank you for being here, Hendrik. Fantastic to see you. We'll have some fun with Frank in a little while. Hola, bon dia, Pashwal. Good morning, Rebel Mama. Showing you lovely pictures this morning. Oh, I've got a bit of an agenda this morning with, Mrs. M's burst into the room. Is everything okay? Oh, my goodness. How are you this morning? She's well, thanks. Did you hear that? Smug and sexy. It's Sexta, everybody. There she is. It's a sexy Sexta when Mrs. M's around. Okay, hold on a minute. Did you come in to ask if I wanted coffee? Yes, please. No, you didn't, did you? Okay, thank you. Yes, please. I would love one. That's super. We have an agenda. Doesn't everybody? But no, I don't mean it like that. In the comments, you will see the agenda for this morning. This is what Frank and I are going to be talking about this morning, among many other things, I suspect. Happy birthday, Her Majesty. Ask Frank. Frank is still angling as a former resident of Her Majesty's colonies, or one of them. He is still looking for a civic award of some kind. So I imagine he'll be doing some groveling to Her Majesty, wishing her a happy birthday. Her Majesty, it's Queen Elizabeth II. I mean, there are many queens in this world, aren't they? Let's not be, take too many. What's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. I'm going to move on. The crazy tourist season ahead. Is he talking about the Algarve? Bezos in Lisbon. Did you see those pictures? Who cares, right? But I think Frank has got something to say about that. The new Man United manager, Henry, you might have something to say about that. Amazing non-alcoholic beers in Portugal. Again, why is Frank even talking about non-alcoholic beers? Why most Brits get disappointed with the quality of Indian food in Portugal? That's very niche, isn't it? And the continued real estate boom around Portugal. Long may it continue. And I was looking at some stats for this from Expresso. Oh, no, that's not the one. Where's it gone? Oh, yeah, buying a house in Portugal. This is from Della. Buying a house. I put this to one side some time ago. And apparently, April 11th, this recent of Inst, is that what do people say Inst anymore? Buying a house in Portugal is 64% more expensive than in 2010. That's when I first visited, just about. Oh! And renting a house has become 25% more expensive, according to the latest data from Eurostat. What justifies this evolution? We explain. And I think that's an idealista.pt article, which if you want, I can send you. But yeah, very interesting. And Frank wants to talk about it this morning. He'll be here soon. Coffee's on the way. All is well. Life is good because the thirst for freedom overcame all fears. Do you want to hear that again at the end of the show? We will do that. Lovely, poignant end to the show. You might have to remind me there. Sam Nazare, excellent stuff. Bon dia Alegria from Pete. Glad to hear you have a new opening plan. I can't even remember what I said there, but it doesn't go unnoticed. Certainly by you, Peter. Bon dia, Alegria Gumpers from a rather soggy Nadadura this morning. Soggy over there, right? But you can still fondle that like button. Looking forward to seeing you in a little while, Cindy B. That's very interesting. We'll sign up for the webinar ASAP. Well done. That's what you need to do. I'm going to put the link for that in the comments for you so that you can do that. Comfortable living in a Portuguese home. Happy Friday, everyone. Great to see you on the webinar last night. Kathy, how are you doing? Oh, cool. Even though I have my anti-damp measures in place and not too many pests, I will tune in. There you go. Smash the like button, says Kathy. Nice one, Kathy. That looks like a great Thursday evening. Are you being sarcastic there, Gary, or genuinely? It is. Thursday evenings are fun, sometimes intense, but I managed to sort out my Zoom problem yesterday. Used a different computer. It's a lot more relaxed last night. Oh, my goodness. You know when you get crashed out of Zoom and you're the host of the show, it's a little bit difficult and stressful, but I sorted it last night. Bon dia, Gumpers from Raj. How are you, Raj? It's great to have you here this morning. Carl, there's a starting missing before prof on that screen with the special 20. Oh, what have I done there? I'm not going to put it back on now. I'm not going to rake over the ashes of the past there, Matty. You and your proofreading skills. Good morning, everyone. Thank you where were you when I needed you before I humiliated myself in public like that? Thank you so much for having me on yesterday night's webinar. You were brilliant, Nuno. Great to. We'll get that up. Anyone who missed it, it will be on our YouTube channel real soon. When I say real soon, I would say within the next 72 hours, maybe a little bit longer, but I'll get to it as soon as I can. Not going anywhere, are we, in this rain? Midlife Crisis World Tour bonus. If you can tell us all which village local to us did the discovery of Brazil come from? Discovery of Brazil, indeed. A Portuguese person. I mean, it was there, wasn't it, to be fair, before it was discovered. But we get your gist. We get your drift there, Pete. Which extra points? I think Prof will like that. Prof will rise to that challenge. And who doesn't like to rise to the challenge? First thing in the morning. Hola, pessoas. Boa madrugada do New Jersey. Dawn in New Jersey. Fantastic, Gene. Always great to have your company, as it is. You too, Susie Q. You too, Susie Q. Rebel Mama. A lovely display. And Susie's here as well. What a good morning, all. Fantastic. Less and less Portuguese celebrate the 25 de Abril on each year. That's interesting, Nuno. Do you think more will come back to the celebration on the 50th anniversary? But this is how it goes, isn't it? I think us expats, immigrants, foreigners, which is what I say now on expats, immigrants, foreigners, Portugal, we're very inspired by it. It's not gone unnoticed here, but I can understand how that does happen among the native population. There is a big parade for the 25th of April in Fundão on Monday. Bon dia to you, Pam. Thanks for being here this morning. Sam Nazare. Quem vê caras, não vê corações. Literal translation, who sees faces does not see hearts. That's beautiful, isn't it? Meaning, do not judge a book by its cover. We're loving this. This is great. Thank you for kicking this off, T-Duck, for encouraging it, James, and now you, Sam, as well. Learning a bit of Portuguese and uncovering, rediscovering the universal truths of life at the same time. Bon dia, Gumpers. My first day back at work after COVID. How was it, Brian? How you doing? How you feeling? Quem não arrisca, não petisca. Literal translation, those who do not risk do not have a snack. Isn't that what the SAS believe? Who dares gets fed, basically, meaning if you do not take a risk, you will not get the benefits. That's right. But then, the funny thing about these universal truths, and I suppose the great paradoxes of life are that, one, like if you don't take any risk, you won't get any benefits. But the other thing is, angels... fools rush in where angels dare to tread. These can seem contradictory, but therein lies the great challenge, doesn't it? Weaving in and out between the paradoxes and ironies of life. I'll do a little digging. Oh, he's going to go and do a little bit of digging. I will do 15 minutes, then repeat it later in the evening, so hopefully a little sticks. He's talking about language, everybody, learning Portuguese. But that could work for a number of things, couldn't it? Doing 15 minutes, repeating it later, and hoping a little sticks. Only 30 sleeps done in Portugal for 10 nights. Fantastic. Kate, good morning, St. Catherine. Bon dia, Carl. When is your day of the year, St. Catherine? Every day, right? Frank, your Airbnb handle, please, for my fellow Canadians. Cheers. Sometime in early mid-May, if we can be squeezed in. Is it not in the show notes? If you look at this on YouTube, I think in the let me know, Susie Q. I think Frank's Airbnb link is in all the the show detail there. Regarding Portuguese sayings, that one is not easy. Cotelas e caldos de galinha nunca fezerão mal em ninguém. I'm going to let him translate that himself. I'm not going to try with that one. Don't forget the like button and the man cave tonight in capital letters, of course. Those troglodytes always shouting at each other. Nadine, good morning to you. Morning. What is your channel about? Do you just talk about anything, or are you going to set some topics? I think Nadine is a little peeved with me this morning. Well, Nadine, you ask a very good question there. I don't talk about anything, although I can be encouraged to. This is Good Morning Portugal. You are most welcome, and we riff around the theme of loving life, people moving to Portugal, helping people move to Portugal, and enjoying life once here. It's quite a big brief, and we are a fan of big briefs here on the Good Morning Portugal show, and you are most welcome. And I have been criticised for not being very specific and going off topic, and I put my hands up to that. That's also probably a Portuguese saying. A man who puts his hands up doesn't get shot or something like that, I suppose. But what I would like to say in my defense here is that we're a very welcoming community, and feel free to shape the agenda yourself. Is there something you'd like to know about life in Portugal? Is there something you'd like to tell us about your love of Portugal? This is the place to do it, Nadine. And I think for those people who do like it specific and on, sticking to the agenda, we are probably not the place to be. So guilty as charged there, but you're most welcome. I hope you find something of use this morning. And we do kick back a little bit, even more. We are even more relaxed on a Friday, as I'm sure you'll find out if you stick around. But ask away. Got any questions for us? We'll gladly answer them. Hola, bom dia todos. A Faixa do Dia. Songs inspired by Nile Rodgers and Chic. Getting jiggy with it. Sample taken from He's the Greatest Dancer. Chic and Sister Sledge. The geniuses of Niall and Bernard. Bernard Edwards, rest in peace, of course. Great bass player. The bass line, Another One Bites the Dust, was inspired by From Good Times. I'm still awake. The like button has been smashed. It's tiring, though, isn't it? Smashing that like button. Nice one, Baldylocks. Good on you, mate. And Tanuno, a friend of ours growing up around here, when he was a child, didn't want a lemon or orange or even pear tree. He wanted a soup tree. Loved that. And your phrase, so true of soup. Is that the phrase, old chicken makes good soup? Which I have heard from time to time. I don't think it is it? But come on, put us out of our misery. Please tell us what you two are referring to there. Do you get the day off on Monday? No, I do not. I'll be speaking to my union about it. No, I won't. I love being here every weekday. I think it's maybe another nice, easygoing one. We got to be around for anybody who wants to chat and connect on Monday, Kathy. But it's very good of you to ask that particular question. Owen's here. Great job with the OFC, wasn't it, on Wednesday? Live cooking demo. Once a month with the Owen and the Garvo, and of course behind the scenes, Terence, dear boy. Que o sol brilhe para você nesta fim de semana. I thought it was a saying, but may the sun shine brightly for you this weekend. Thank you, Owen. Good morning to you. Thank you for being here. You are now, who is this? Prof, you are now officially the Dennis. Hit him, Terry. The Dennis Waterman of GMP with your own theme tune, isn't it? He is, but he didn't write it. I think Dennis Waterman, what is it? Wrote the theme tune, sang the theme tune on Minder there. Maybe Google it. People may be Googling it now thinking, what? Dennis Waterman? Yes, a British cultural icon of the 1980s. I heard that why do you always say rump and not Trump, Rebel Mama? It's okay. We're all grown up, so you can say his full name. I heard that there were, is that just a put down, likening him to a bottom? I heard there were fascist rump supporter Americans at the Man Cave. I have understood they may be lurkers here. I am sure 25th of April is lost on them. Have fun. Well, that's a pretty square, full-on put down of people, isn't it? I don't know what to say about that really, but there was an interesting comment that was I think it was arose yesterday, suggesting that might be the sort of thing that people have moved away from in America. And I think it was referred to, Rebel Mama, as I think baggage, or should we call it luggage? Luggage is a bit more stylish, isn't it? But coming away from America to get away from that kind of Ding dong. I'm going to refer to it in a very British way. Ding dong. The truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Oh dear, it's my party and I'll cry if I want to. What? No, it's your party and they will sack you if they want to. How the tide turns, like a U-turn. Well, it took a long time, I have to say, and it's not over yet, Chris. Good news about the free transport in Lisbon for over 65 and under 18s. Hopefully it will spread to other cities. I suspect it will. It's a very good move, isn't it? If one looks at it a little bit cynically, it's a good political move to do that. I say language is culture. Is there the emphasis on is there? Or which of the three words is the emphasis on? Language is culture. I think it's fair to say that, isn't it? Contacts, not contracts. Oh, I see. It's all about your contacts. But it is all about the contracts as well, to be fair. Good topic for Caveman's today's show, but I don't remember any support of fascist regimes. I somehow doubt it. I think that might have been escalated a little bit there, Rebel Mama. And I think you say you have heard. Is that right? Why don't you check it out for yourself? Or not, or just ignore it if you think that's what's going on there. But I think not. And I would like to think the spirit of the man cave is to be, rather than, turning your back on anyone or putting anyone down, is to talk about things. That's what we're about, isn't it? That's the spirit, I think, of the Good Morning Portugal show, to talk about things and further understanding. Which I suppose, again, is something that characterizes the problems of America at the moment, a lack of understanding, right? And just, cancellation rather than understanding, which I would hope for. Punction is so helpful. Very funny. No, I wasn't there last week, but heard it from someone. Look, come on. This is how rumors and fake news develop. Check it out for yourself. Apparently, there were two of them, usually those who don't understand fashion. They are go in and educate them then. Midlife crisis, well, yes, go to the man cave and have a Barney. It doesn't, I can stir that up here, can't I? And then just let you all get on with it. Is the free public transport only for a limited time, or is it permanent? I think, well, what is permanent in this world, Sam? But I think it is long term. By way of some sort of answer, I don't think it's like a free offer or anything. It's it's permanent. There you go. Says the prof. It's a carbon reduction policy. Really? Okay. Any answers? What? To what, Karen? Did you ask? What? So we only? I'm not sure what you're saying there. Maybe we only ask questions. And there aren't any answers. We'll come. What is it you want to know, Karen? Do let us know if that's what you mean. And the agenda is there, those and other things. But politics is not something I keep track or we talk about on the cave. It's just men having a drink and talking about whatever comes up. Indeed. And to Sam, in fact, they intend to eventually have free for everyone. That's socialism for you. Boom. It's raining, so indoors and enjoying the comments this morning. Morning, Paul. That was an amazing tour, wasn't it, that you've been on recently? Loved those pictures. And you're back, I think, aren't you? If it's raining, you're probably back here. What's that? Someone told me, stop it! There were two Americans there last week speaking about Trump supporters. So that is pretty political. I think it's also called free speech, isn't it? And long may that continue. I love Freddie Mercury and his lad, Queens. Eric, 10 games. Hag City are shaking their. What is Owen referring to here? I wonder. Oh, is that? I think that might be a reference to the new Man United manager. Their music, anyway. Well, what's this? What's happened? Is there something about Queen that needs cancelling now, and you're only allowed to like their music and not their lifestyle or something? What's going on here? Sam Nazare, here in Sydney, Australia, there's been 3 weeks of free public transport over Easter. Perhaps it'll be introduced permanently all around the world. People are allowed out of their houses now in Australia, Sam. Carl, what do you mean prop boom, long may it continue? What's that? Property boom, long may it continue? I'm guessing this is from the Portugal news. Not good news for Portuguese people getting priced out. No, that's right. But I imagine this could be a nuanced discussion. On the face of it, yes. Continuing property price rises, bad. But for those particular individual Portuguese people selling houses, good. We will have a nuanced discussion of this. Please join in with that in a little while. Free travel initiative will only be available to residents of central Lisbon, but Moedas said he hopes that with government help, it can be extended in the future with the entire metro area of the capital. So everyone going to benefit possibly sometime in the future. Okay, Pete. Owen, Man United are really trawling the bottom of the barrel, picking up cheap old Haag. Why not pay for Poch or be too late for Conte? Koi. This is football talk, isn't it? We'll come back to that when I've got a translator with me. That'll be Frank in a little while. It's hold on a minute. I think Frank may not have. Do you have a fresh link? I do have a fresh link. Let me just technical issues. Frank's here, or he's fearing a debate about property prices, possibly. So it could be a diplomatic and tactical move there. Public transport in the UK is ever more expensive, and outside of London, truly awful. I bet you're glad you're living in Alcobaça, right? Belmont. Okay, Belmont is where the Brazilian discoverer, and who doesn't like to be a Brazilian discoverer first thing in the morning? Nice one, Pete from Owen. I think the Man United bashing has begun, everybody. Electric cars are not a long-term solution. What is, though? Let's face it. Only peace and love are long-term solutions, right? I support the creation of low, no-impact, safe, convenient mass transportation, or staying at home. Why is everyone running around the place all the time anyway? Hit the like button, smash the like button, keep with the likes. Lycus Maximus is here. I lick the like button. Please, that could be unhygienic at this time when we're just relaxing the mask mandate here in Portugal. Licking of like buttons should perhaps not be encouraged. Chris is back in the house, the old button licker. What town is the Venice of Portugal? There you go. What town is the Venice of Portugal? I've moved over to YouTube as I can't see any comments on Facebook. Yeah, you're missing out there. It's fun this morning, a lot of fun this morning. So Brazil was officially discovered by Pedro Alves Cabral, born in Belmont. So there's some confusion from Antonio, well, not from Antonio F, but from the historians, whether Cabral was born in 1467 or 1468. So there you go. Suze, with property prices continuing to rise, maybe some good will come to generationally owned abandoned homes. Hope so. Yeah, maybe, but that's going to take a different kind of what is it? 48,000 empty homes in Lisbon. I saw a news article about that. So this is a nuanced and complex thing. I don't think there are any simple answers. Are there any? Well, I suppose there are some simple answers in life, but not around this sort of issue. No one's cracked it yet, have they? Let's put it that way. I need to find the lovely link to Cindy B's new celebrant service. She's joining us. I hear a knock on the door. I hear a ring on the bell this morning, but I must find this to share with you. This is a lovely development of Cindy B. Does some amazing things, as some of you know, including being a permaculture teacher here in Portugal. Well, she does it online, so that's available for anyone anywhere in the world, basically. But also just recently announced the celebrant service, putting a link to that inside the comments right now. I'm trying to get Frank on the air as well. Nadine, you've caught us at a bad moment. We really are. We are quite all over the place this morning. Let me just check what's happening with Frankie and if everything's all right with him. And if I have sent him, if I have indeed sent, I think I did send him the right link because I sent it to Cindy as well, who is here now. Let's bring her onto the screen. Cindy. Boss, how are you, Cindy, this morning?
I'm lovely. Even though it's pouring down rain here.
You so are. And you said it's a bit of soggy in Nadadouro. Nadadouro, of course, where you get a look of the Óbidos Lagoon, right? What a beautiful part of the world.
Oh my gosh, it's gorgeous. I think it's one of the most beautiful places on earth, but I'm prejudiced.
Yes, you are a little, but what a lovely place you live in there. And it must be wonderful. So even when it is raining, when you live by the sea, even if it is raining, it can still be very dramatic, and you can have a beautiful and an awesome view out the window, can't you?
It's constantly changing. The color of the water constantly changes. Every time I look out, there's a bit of a different scene. Unfortunately, they're doing some construction behind me, so I'm looking out at a front end loader right now. So,
You're looking at a what?
A front end loader, a big earth moving machine.
Who doesn't like a front end loader first thing in the morning? Oh my goodness, it's the first time I've heard that. And talking of front end loaders.
You gotta always start on that way with me, eh?
I've got my polo neck on, especially.
And now you've got a celebrant in the middle, and we can all just celebrate and have fun now.
Absolutely, and that's why we've got Cindy with us this morning. Good morning, Frank, by the way. How are you this morning?
Good morning. Have no fear. Frank is here. I was just having a few technical issues. Whenever I want to get on this thing, you know how it is, Cindy, when you're not a pro like Mr. Carl Munson over here, you try plugging a few things and they don't work and whatever. Just agree with me, Cindy. Come on.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with you, Frank. Yeah.
Yeah, it happens, right? Okay. How's everyone doing this morning? What's going on?
Awesome.
I've already got an oh dear. That's a good enough review as far as I'm concerned. Cindy B, Moaz is back. Great to see you, Moaz. You're such a warm person, Cindy B, and I love your smile. And hi, Cindy, as well from T-Duck this morning. And we haven't had the Franks yet in capital letters, but you do have a friend here. Broken Hammer, Hendrik Lamar. Why has he got a broken hammer in it? Frankie, United. Oh,
yes. He must be very excited today.
Well, we don't need a celebrant for Man United, do we, this morning? Let's talk about the role of the celebrant then, Cindy B. What made you do this? I think it's a great idea.
This is something that I actually brought from the States. I was a celebrant there, and the specialty was weddings, and I kind of packed it away when I came to Portugal because I'm obviously not licensed to marry people here. But of course, Carl, you helped me see, yes, as he often does, that there actually is a role here for a celebrant. There is just so much that we can and should celebrate, and that's where I come in to help people with those high times and sometimes the low times of their lives as well, when you think about life celebrations. So.
Yeah, true. And, our life is made of memories and moments, isn't it? And here we are. Let's have a look at your website. And it did seem a shame to me because we were having people celebrating a CEF appointment, weren't we? Having people obviously celebrating their residency, even getting their driving license back. Some people painted the town red for that. But when we're talking about official celebrations, people making an effort to celebrate rather than just having an extra glass of wine that night. This is a really important thing. And how would you do it here in Portugal? So this seems like a fantastic idea. And when you begin to scratch the surface, I think you've got a load of categories here, haven't you? Weddings, commitments, life partner dedications, beautiful. Vow renewals and recommitments. And maybe you can do that for me and Frank, because in our friendship we've had our moments, our ups and downs, and maybe there's a role to be played there. I don't know. Frank and I could talk about that with you. New life in Portugal.
Yes.
Reconciliation. New life in Portugal. CEF appointment completion, residency, new home dedication. That's obviously going to be a good one. And I love your illustration there of a new home dedication. Wouldn't it be lovely to officially mark that? Have people round, say a few words, child naming, welcoming, pet naming, welcoming, come of age ceremony, initiation, divorce, relationship release. That, of course, happens for people. Retirement. That's a massive milestone. Crone ceremony, creative researcher of new experiences. That's quite amazing. I didn't know crone meant that. Could you tell us a little bit more about that one? Because the others are fairly self-explanatory. This is a new one to me.
Becoming a crone, we think of a woman's life being in three stages: of the maiden, the mother, and the crone. And crones are not defined by age. It's more when you've decided that you're an elder of the community and you want to assume that role. And it's a really special time for women. I actually didn't put the men's ceremony on there because I'm still searching for a name. Old geezer ceremony just wasn't working for me.
What do we think, Frank? Should we ever become respectable elders? What would we like to be called? Old geezers?
I don't
Wizards?
know. Old gizzard, old geezers, gizzards. What's the other one? Or you could be, like, you know, the young Obi-Wan Kenobis, or the young Yodas. You know, like there's quite a few different things you can do over there.
And very important, very needed in our society, I think. So elder wisdom, and again, a lack of marking the moment. We're talking about marking moments here, aren't we? Very important. And of course, the one you referred to, the celebration of life, and of course, pets. For that, you know, pets are very important to people, companions in life, and important for completion, for celebration. So, what a lovely list of moments to celebrate in life there. And I think an absence of being able to do so, to have the right people to do it, people who know how to do it here in Portugal. So what, for example, then, if we stick to the more sort of cheerful ones, I mean, that's not to demean, you know, anything that you're doing here or the importance of celebrating people's lives when they've passed. But let's say somebody wants to celebrate their new life here in Portugal. It could be a hybrid of retirement and getting residency here. What might that look like, Cindy, in real life?
Well, I actually work with each and every one of my clients to hear their story, because everybody's got a story of how they got to where they are and what's meaningful to them. I love that we were talking about language this morning in the chat, because words are so powerful, and marking these occasions with words of whatever sort, rituals. Perhaps one of the rituals is pouring, a glass of a fine Portuguese wine. Maybe it's a feast of bacalhau. Whatever is meaningful for that particular person. That's my job, is to pull that out, put that all together, kind of package it up, and create a ceremony that's really special. And then when you walk away from that, you've got the feeling that you've moved on, that you've accomplished something, that you're in a new state. And so that's my job. And that's
so I don't know if Cindy, I don't know if Carl has thought of it, because he's a creative guy, and there are certain challenges when might come up, or like, let's say someone wants to celebrate something very unique, like let's say they have just passed kidney stones, right, and they want to celebrate that. I've just passed kidney stones, and how do I go about saying goodbye to that little piece of me that went away? Or like, let's say if somebody has just had elective surgery, plastic surgery, and they've just come out from it, and they're looking in the mirror, they're feeling refreshed, and how do they go about with it? So like, let's say, for example, kidney stones. If they were to pass kidney stones, how would you say goodbye? Like, how would we have a celebratory event for it?
Cindy, just off the top of my head, I would say make sure you hang on to those kidney stones. Let's go down to the beach. Let's tell them goodbye and toss them into the sea.
Yes.
Wow. You see, This is what I'm talking about. Carl Munson, you're missing a trick there.
I hadn't thought of those two instances. You're absolutely right, Frank. And is this a personal request?
No, it's not. I'm thinking not right now, at least. But if it does happen, then I've got Cindy in mind for like certain events like this, where something unusual or something very beautiful might happen in your life that is slightly unusual, and you just need a minister who, by the way, Cindy, you can wing it. Don't worry about it. It's Portugal. Just wing it. Don't worry. It all works out in the end. So you can if like, let's say I need Cindy by my side to recite a like very short poem for my kidney stone, then or she could write one for me, right? She could as I say goodbye to it, as it's going away, the stone, I fling it and it goes away.
Ode to the kidney stone. I think we have so much talent in this community, and including you on catering, because I'm thinking, Frank, you might be pretty good on the catering for these events. And these are these are Gumper celebrations as well, aren't they?
Absolutely.
It's not just about the people involved in the ceremony, is it? It's about placing that in the context of community, which I think we can do here as well.
Yes. I looked. By the way, I looked at your website, Cindy. Well, beautiful work. I had not thought of this this option, and when I was looking at it, I saw a minister I can marry, but I cannot leave, and I'm like, you seem like a beautiful person. You can just show up and you can be like, hey, I can marry these people, and then we can wing up a piece of paper, right? It all works out in the end over here.
Well, you know what? I have been involved in the marriage. They're not, well, they're ceremonies. They're not legally recognized, and this is the issue I think you're talking about, Frank. Isn't it? I've done this for people, and it's great fun. And I think it's complementary, isn't it, Cindy? There is obviously the statutory legal machinery for people being married.
Here's the thing: I've been married 3 times to the same person, and I think one of them was legal. Because and then I was also thinking one of them, we've done 3, might as well do the 4th one, right? And then I was thinking we might as well go to Vegas and let Elvis do it, officially or unofficially, right? Why not, right?
Cindy's going to draw the line there as dressing up as Elvis, but we'll see.
Come on.
a big premium on that one. But we've got the caterer, we have got the celebrant. I mean, this is a key thing, isn't it, too? Because a lot of the work with the celebrant goes on before, doesn't it? It's not just about the ceremony. As you said, you're finding out about people and you're weaving something special together for that sense of occasion and the sense of completion. And I think in modern busy life, we don't do enough of this, do we? It's like a blur and it's all done. These moments are really important. And that's why we do like a wedding, isn't it? And in a strange way, that's why we find a funeral a relief in a way, because there is the completion, isn't there, of that. And there are so many other things in life where we might do the same thing.
Yeah, we let moments pass so often that we ought to be really recognizing and celebrating and sharing with other people. That's the other thing. Come join me. I'm becoming a crone. And I want to share that moment. Because it's really special for me. And we need to mark these. Especially that coming of age ceremony. Here in Western culture, except in some cultures, I guess the Jewish tradition comes to mind with the bar and the bat mitzvah, where there's, it's an initiation when you think about it. And what are we depriving some of the kids of by not allowing them, to go through this, to mark those special days whenever we think they are.
Yeah, and very interesting. The word crone is triggering or stimulating people, and that this in a way, this is a great illustration of the loss of recognition, isn't it? Because this would have been a special thing, which has now been turned into turning into an old crone or whatever. And I think this illustrates the point, doesn't it? We've lost touch with the specialness of the coming of age, whether it be in youth or in older age.
And celebrate that, understand that it's like the gray hair, I covered it up for a while. I thought, why am I doing that? This is who I am. This is who I really am. And not all of us are ready to embrace that, at one time or another. And when you are, let's mark that day, let's celebrate.
Absolutely. And I think Prof is enjoying this too much. He thought maybe you were marrying me and Frank today here this morning. Not funny. Not fun. I mean, I love Frank, that, but that's another stage that I hadn't considered really.
I haven't considered that. I was thinking what kind of espumante we would have at our wedding, but it's all right. You haven't had enough time to think about it. Wizards for men, old fogies is a suggestion. I'm not sure about that. Stop it, you.
But maybe Fogey meant something good back in the day. How about Giffer? I quite like Giffer. How about wise men? Yeah. Kathy loves the idea, and I think this will be a special one for people. That's when if they can afford and find a house. I love the idea of a new home celebration when I move. Fogies and crons, or that's probably crones, isn't it? What about the Mad Cat Lady stage? I think Diane is looking forward to that. He's saying this about his own partner. I can't believe this. I can believe it with Pete. I'm certainly anticipating walking slowly in front of people and hitting people at bus stops with a stick. I don't think Cindy's going to do a celebration of that, Pete.
Wow.
Okay.
So violence is the answer.
For Pete in Fundell, it would appear to be. How about wise humans for both? Interesting point. Now, as much as equality is important, of course it is, there are particular, what would we say, features of becoming an older man and an older woman, right, which are quite unique and separate, I would have thought as well.
Absolutely. I often quip that I played the gray card, on occasion. And, especially here in Portugal, when you're an older person, they'll come and get you out of line, if you're in a queue somewhere. That's happened to me. Priority boarding on the plane without having to pay for it. Thank you. I'll take that every day of the week. Yeah. But again, not everybody's ready to wear that mantle. And when you're there, it, and hopefully you'll call me and say, Cindy, I'm ready to celebrate this. I'm ready to do this.
But here's the thing with the coming of age in the youth. If you don't have a moment to mark it, arguably you never grow up. So if you haven't done that one, what chance do you have of becoming an elder? I think this is a problem in our culture. I really do. Carl Munson sorry, Frank, we just have to hide you for a minute there. Cindy, actually, let's do this for you instead. That's a bit better. There we go. A little bit better. That's hidden all of us now. Big comment from Carolina Moonbeam here. Carl Munson, Cindy, a woman of a certain age is called Kumakarawa, a crown. Is this where crone came from? Older women are so often majestic and powerful within their community. Here. Absolutely right. We can go with that, can't we? Crown. Don't get too hung up on the crone put down. It's a crown, women. Just had a debate with Rita that it is Thursday, not Friday. I think we can help out. In a fairly straightforward manner here. Until I saw Freaky Friday with Frankie, who stole Thursday? Has he been drinking anything? He's been at too much of the Alan Tejo Red. What would you say to Neil this morning?
Alan from Tejo is enjoying his new place too much, and I think if there's some kind of celebration that needs to happen, it needs to happen for his new home, because he must really be enjoying it. I don't think this guy has left the Champers for a week or two since he's been there.
You legend, Neil Perkins. Losing days.
Hero.
Perhaps Sage Ceremony could be a suitable event for either. Well,
Sage, the thing is, beautiful herb.
We don't have, good, and it's very ceremonial as well, of course. Isn't it?
Very ceremonial.
Absolutely, yes.
This isn't about deciding things for other people. This is about people designing their own ceremony, right, to suit their own worldview, I guess, of course. So we're not. It's not one size fits all in any way here, is it?
No, not at all. I've got, rough plans, especially for weddings, they kind of follow a form, and I'm also a certified wedding planner. That's how all of this actually got started. But there are so many traditions, for other cultures. And when I talk to people about, okay, this is how the Native Americans approach this. And sometimes those ceremonies resonate, sometimes they don't. This is how the Indian community celebrates this. This is how the Jewish community celebrates this. And I look at all of the traditions, and that's something that I study constantly. How do people mark these? Where they're being celebrated, where they're being marked, how are they being done so? And then what celebrates with the individual? Because it's all about them. It's meaningful to them. And I have done ceremonies with just myself and one other person. When I was at Findhorn, I did a ceremony for a woman who was looking for a permanent relationship. And so we did an intention ceremony for her. So there's, it's endless.
Absolutely.
It's Cindy, could you think of revisiting a ceremony that you never had? So like, let's say, let's say our buddy Carl Munson here, when he lost his virginity, right? If he wants to go and revisit when he lost his virginity. Oh, you haven't? You're still a virgin?
Yes. Who says I haven't? Anyway.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, did you?
See, we got an opportunity here,
There is an opportunity. Can we do you have one of those events where we can celebrate you losing your virginity, Carl Manson? Can we do it on air? And Cindy could officiate, and I could be the one bringing the champers in, bring the espumante, and I could recommend little things for us to eat. What do you think? Stop shaking your head like that. I know you will enjoy that ceremony. And then you can talk. And then you can talk about it, like which car was it? Was it a Pinto in the back of it? Like what happened?
Okay, I think Cindy.
I just work here. I just throw things out. I don't know if you guys want to take it.
This is clearly why you get paid the big bucks, Frank, for that sort of contribution. So I think we could just note that down, Cindy, as retrospective celebrations, right? Without going
retrospective, precisely.
Yeah, well, retrospective. I think about the couple who never had that beautiful wedding. They went to the courthouse. I mean, seriously, they went to the courthouse and never had that special moment. Hey, you've been married for 26 years. Let's do it.
Never too late. Never too late. Exactly, Cindy. Age, privilege, and wisdom, not ridicule and regret. Fantastic. Louise is loving this. We are so blessed with every year we are here. Fantastic. Hold on to the kidney stones. Going back to your idea, Frank, you need to catch them first. Tough job, but someone's got to do it. Celebrations and togetherness. I love it, Cindy. Fantastic service. And with a bit of catering from Owen as well. How about that?
There you go.
What are people like here? Nick, look, Louise thought it was Saturday.
That means you're having too much fun.
Yeah, looking forward to never.
But there's nothing like too much fun.
From James there, and 1300 apparently. The where's Rebel Mama? She said something. Oh yeah, the word crone is recognised as coming from the last 1300s from France. Unfortunately, it was considered a slur against women. But like many slurs, women have taken it back. Well done, women, with that. Carolina Moonbeam responding to that. That's really interesting. Didn't know that. The important thing is it should be a celebration of power. Absolutely right. Superb. I like renaming ceremonies when children choose their own name at puberty as well. Okay, there's another one. Sage, a profoundly wise person, a person famed for wisdom, someone venerated for the possession of wisdom, judgment, and experience. Well, there's some areas for improvement for you and me, Frank, right there on the screen from Sam.
Also, herb used very, very often for very beautiful beef stews.
What? Okay, and Cindy B, have you done a gay commitment ceremony? Yes,
I certainly have. Love doing them. Yes.
Right. Francesina says, Gary Austin, good to see you. Oh, he's calling you Francesina, not Francesina. Good to see you in the company of the lovely.
It's always about food for Garvo. It's like he mixes people's names up with the food that he likes, which actually I kind of find kind of sweet, and that is love.
Yes, the old firm back together there. Lovely to see you this morning, Garvo. And good call on the Migash the other day. We need a GMP Midsummer. What is that? But live, is that a festival? And then Cindy could declare it officially open for much bacchanalian revelry, I suspect, as well. You
Bacchanalia. Oh yeah, we love that.
We have you as our resident celebrants to kick things off with all of these wonderful parties that we're going to be having. Cindy, go on, Frank. You're my kind of guy. That's a nice endorsement for Frank this morning, and also goes well. Frank also goes well with parsley, rosemary, and
precisely.
Yes, Cindy B, it's a great idea, and we thank you for joining us this morning. How can people get in touch to find out more or to engage you in this way?
Well, my website is obviously the first place. It's cindyblackshear.com. And just click on the link. It's only about 4 pages long, but everything is there. And you can find me on Expats Portugal Forum. I'm Cindy B there.
There she is, Cindy B on the Expats Portugal Forum. What fun to talk to you this morning. Good luck with it, Cindy B. Looking forward to being invited to some of these things as well. Okay,
I'm
Cindy,
looking forward to doing them.
have a great day in Soggy Nadadoro, and a bon fin semana to you.
Bon fin semana.
All right, ciao, Cindy B. Oh, there she goes. Fantastic, Frank. So you had a little bit of a difficulty joining us on screen this morning. What's going on there in the Algarve?
I don't know. You send me these weird links, and then I go and click on these links, and it says Carl Munson says hello. I'm like, all right, it's a good prank, Carl.
I'm sorry if that caused you any. I really was not pranking you. You clearly haven't seen the movie, Carl. Oh, is that Midsummer? Okay, or is it Midsummer Murders? Is it some sort of murder mystery that the prof wants us to? Do you know what he's talking about? Midsummer.
I don't know. Is that Shakespeare thing? Midsummer.
Something along those lines where it'll be festive and fun, but it sounds like a little
festive
bit
and fun. Bacchanalia. I like the sound of it.
I saw your ears prick up at the mention of Bacchanalia. I've had one of my muscle spasms, but I'm doing much better now. Obrigado for asking, sweet man. We have missed you, Moaz. We have. Now, we have got a little bit of an agenda for our discussion this morning, Frank. It's great to have you here in your residency.
Thank you for having me.
In your regular slot here.
What a privilege to have you along with me this morning. Look at you. Why do you look so pretty on Friday mornings?
Stop it. Okay, you're embarrassing me. I wore my turtleneck especially for today.
There you go.
You like it. I still can't find this blooming agenda of ours. I know the first thing on it was you wishing Her Majesty the Queen of England and the colonies and the Commonwealth, I should say Commonwealth, not colonies, a very happy birthday, Frank. So
Your Majesty, your subjects wish you happy birthday, and a little.
What could possibly go wrong this morning with that? Okay, so you've done that. Her Majesty's birthday, still in line, you think, for an OBE or an MBE or something like that. Okay,
precisely.
the crazy tourist season ahead. Things are picking up in the Algarve. Is that right?
They are. They're picking up all over the country, but in the Algarve, you see a lot of activity. You see a lot of Faro Airport seems to be very busy. You see a lot of tourists walking around. And one thing that I've seen different is they are not just concentrated around the beach area. They're like in the center of town, walking around, going to small botecos, going to small bars, getting drunk, getting kicked out. It's all beautiful because, it's another experience also, as you may know, getting kicked out of Portuguese little mom and pop boteco, like one of those nights. Remember you were telling me about that night when you got kicked out?
I deny all knowledge of that. That is so not me, not anymore anyway. As I move towards the Yoda-like eldership that Cindy B was referring to.
You kind of have. There's something very sagey about you. I don't know if it's the beard. I don't know what it is, but there's something very sagey about you.
I don't. Yes, I'm not sure if that is a compliment.
It is.
Okay, so is that it for the crazy tourist season ahead? Good for you. I mean, somebody was saying that. Did you notice a spike in? My screen's. Did you notice a spike in Airbnb bookings? Oh, that was Chris asking you, because I think he might be struggling to put people up or have people stay in the Algarve. Is it going well with the Airbnb side of things?
It is. It is going very well, but it really depends because you're also getting the tourists who are not going to Spain because Spain has other regulations. Spain is not fully open. France is fully open, and the French can easily come over here. And you see a lot of French all over Algarve. One too many, if you may ask me. But yeah, it's going a bit crazy over here.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's good news.
How is it over there, Garvo? How is it up there in Alviagra?
Everything's on the up in Alviagra, of course. Bezos. Jeff Bezos was in Lisbon. You wanted to talk about that. Why, Frank? Why?
It's because he's the richest man officially, right? On Earth,
Yes.
on planet Earth.
Yeah.
So the richest man on Earth takes his girlfriend for a trip to Lisbon, and they Instagram from out there, and they really promoted Lisbon. So you're going to see the kind of tourism that we see right now is going to be amazing. But can you imagine if we see billionaire and multimillionaire tourism, and how amazing it will be for Portugal?
It could be, couldn't it? I mean, here's a lovely picture of the happy couple. I don't think Cindy was involved in this particular union here, but Jeff Bezos does indeed spend Easter in Portugal. Amazon founder Jeff Bezos, accompanied by his girlfriend Lauren Sanchez, has been taking a holiday in Portugal. On Instagram, journalist Lauren Sanchez shared, she's going to catch a cold dressed like that, I think, some photos of the couple in the Lisbon area. In images posted on Instagram, Laura wrote that the couple was having fun and discovering new waters in Portugal, as she confirmed when asked in the comments if she was in Seattle. It's as beautiful as Seattle, but no, it's Portugal, she wrote. In the stories, the journalist published a video of Pieta's sculpture that is in the Lisbon Cathedral. So there you go. Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sanchez have been together since 2020. In April 2019, the Amazon founder announced the end of his 25-year marriage to Mackenzie Scott, and the divorce went down in history as the most expensive ever, having earned the writer 31.6 billion euros.
Oh, pocket change. Come on.
That's quite a settlement there, isn't it? So, well, okay. Thank you, Senora Bezos, and Senora Bezos coming here and putting Portugal on the world stage as if it needed it. I mean, that's the thing that's going on at the moment, isn't it? You're saying things are looking up in the Algarve. Things are looking very busy on the Silver Coast. Many more Americans arriving on the Silver Coast here. Things are really looking up for spring and summer. The masks are off. Did you see that yesterday, Frank?
Oh, the masks are completely off?
They are, except for the most vulnerable situations. So I believe, and I don't know, the reports I read were very confused, and I think there was a scramble to be the breaking news on the English reporting Portuguese websites. I believe so, except in the most vulnerable situations, we can now go back into cafes and restaurants again without the poor folks who've been working in them for the last 2 years having to wear a mask all day long. It'll be lovely to see people's faces again, won't it?
I'll tell you one thing, one improvement will be for us immigrants. I think one amazing thing that will happen is we will start understanding the language properly, because we'll see the mouth move and we'll be like, oh, so this was the language. Oh, this is what I was trying to pick up. Because right now, it's you can't. Isn't it like, how's your Portuguese these days?
Pretty good. It's sort of incremental, slow, but I'm quite happy with the progress. I was in a cafe recently, and an older lady in the village started talking to me, and I think I understood about 40-50% of what she was saying. Enough. You get to a point, don't you, where you understand enough to come back with something. And I'm able to come back with something. And, I think you learn what you need to know. And so most of my Portuguese revolves around cafe life, and other essentials, really. What about
ordering
you?
a tosta mista, a meia de leite, sitting outside, chatting with the locals.
You know me.
Yes. No, I can say I saw a picture you posted. It looked very beautiful.
Yep, that was a yes.
With what was it, a tosta mista or pão com manteiga?
My torrada, my Jenga, Portuguese Jenga, as I call it. All right, Frank, on your list then, on your agenda this morning, you wanted to talk about Man United for some reason, the new Man United manager. Do we need to set this up?
That's the only thing you need to talk about. And I was like thinking the other day, I was like walking around the grocery store, wanted to get toilet paper, and there were only two options. It was either white or it was either powder blue. So I was like, as soon as I saw powder blue, I started thinking of Owen. I was just like, for no reason. Why? How come toilet papers are not red? Because red is a festive, fiery kind of color. That's why toilet papers are not that color. Hey, Owen, how are you doing, buddy? We've got a new coach.
There is the most luxurious toilet in the world is in Lisbon, in the Praça do Comércio. I don't know if it's still there, but I think
have you used it?
I have been in there. It was described, I think, as the sexiest toilet in the world, which sounds like a George Michael video, doesn't it? But in there, you can buy, I think, every shade of toilet paper, even the red that you're looking for, I think, and black. I'm going to call it lavatory paper, just in case Her Majesty is watching this morning. But yes, you can get all colours from Renova, top Portuguese brand. But I think you're avoiding the issue here. How are Man United doing at the moment?
We are not doing very well, as you may know, but whatever goes down comes back again, as you may know. We're in a situation right now where this season has been horrible for us, and you've got you don't lose hope, but you need that sometimes. You need something sobering after winning generation after generation, winning all those trophies, having a proper trophy cabinet, and now nothing is going in there. You kind of say, you know what, this is kind of sad. But we're on the up and up. We've got a new manager, Erik ten Hag, who officially takes over in the new season. I think it will be a brilliant season once again, and everything is looking up. And by the way, it's a connection to Man City, because he is called the Dutch Pep Guardiola, because he used to be Pep Guardiola's assistant.
Okay, you're sounding very serious about this. Okay, so all the best then to Man United. It is enough to drive a man to drink. You also wanted to talk about non-alcoholic beers in Portugal. Now, but do I remember correctly that last time we spoke, you were laying off the booze a bit and you were drinking more non-alcoholic beers? Is that right?
I was inspired by you, so I was like, you know what? If Carl is doing it, the cool kids got to do it. So I went out and I started like I remember it was you who had told me about the Superbock, a non-alcoholic, and it tastes nice. At first I like laughed it off, and I was just like, Carl Manson, I don't know what kind of wacky tobacco he me smoking. But it was very good. I really enjoyed the Superbock non-alcoholic, the Sagres non-alcoholic, and there's another brand I specifically like. It's like blue color. I forget the name, that I really enjoyed. Very, very good taste.
Very good. Okay, and are you continuing with that trend? Are you? Because I'm looking forward to having a real cold beer in July, and that's a reason to call Cindy B, and I'll be celebrating.
A real regular beer, right?
I can't wait. That's the one I'm really looking forward to. So come 7th of July, after a year off the booze, I'm going to, the first drink I have will be a proper Portuguese cold beer, and it'll be a Sagres, an Imperial.
You're gonna refresh and rechristen the liver with a proper beer, right?
Hell yeah. Yes, yes. I feel once United have made a poorly timed announcement to cover up bad press and results. They've done that's the strategy. They've once again made a poorly timed announcement to cover up bad press and results. Why not wait until we finish battling for 4th place to announce Ten Hag there? Saggy. No, I think I wasn't described as saggy. I think it was sagey. Or have I been smudged? Smudging, of course, the thing you do with the sage to change the atmosphere, to get rid of the evil spirits. Talking of which, but Bezos is no longer the richest man. It is Elon.
Excuse me. It is Elon. It is Elon.
We knew this. Look, I won't say how I feel about Bezos. You're saying how you feel about Bezos by saying you won't say how you feel about Bezos. That's strange, Rebel Mama. And good morning. Look, Glacio D has got up at 3:40 in the morning in Minnesota. That is MN is Minnesota, isn't it? But had to watch Frank's show.
Glacio.
Thank goodness you were able to connect. The lefties are kicking off. Tax the rich or eat them.
Ooh.
Girlfriend, she looks like his daughter age-wise. Well, someone had to say it, didn't they? Insane over him. Someone bought 2 kilos of onions in Algarve at the market instead of their normal 1 kilogram. Inexplicable. So turbulent times up there.
This is mystery. This is probably what all the Vovozians are talking about today around town.
Talking of onions, you're missing the Ebola Festival in Coimbra, something that you're famous for. Would you like... No, we're not making fun of lethal diseases. This is a genuine mistake, isn't it? That you once told us about, I think.
Yes, it is the... Is it the Ebola Festival? It's
Ebola.
Oh, Cebola. Yes, Cebola. It's the Cebola Festival. And stop giggling. I'm trying to say this seriously. There's a festival on the 23rd and I think the 3rd or the 4th of every month. The Festina is very, very nice outside of Coimbra. The cloudy Coimbra right now.
Yeah, of course. But it is, we should point out, it's a Cibola festival, not an Ebola festival there.
Yes.
Excellent comment from Anita.
What?
It's always a good defense. I often say that. Amazon subsidy from the US government. Well, it's no wonder they're doing well. Who's in the picture? Who's in the picture now of a plus a dramatic picture you've got for YouTube there? What's this? Joao F. I am all but a sweet man. I'm as bad as it gets. This is a place for confession. Yes, Father Frank is here to hear your confessions. Frank, red was used by the British Army as it was the cheapest color. So red lavatory paper has you're behind the curve there, so to speak. Literally.
Are you sure it's red or is it salmon? Because I could see salmon. Red you cannot. Red is like color of celebration. Christmas time you see a lot of red. It's festive, isn't it? Carl, just for once, can you please agree with me, man?
Yes, Frank, it's great. Whatever you said is great. Frank, good day to you. City, best team in the land in all the world there. Yes, and absolutely right. Thank you, Pam, for backing me up on that. Backing me up on the toilet paper. Renova used to do a brightly coloured toilet paper there. The things we talk about here. Rebel Mama, thank you for this. Of course, the Portuguese saying, em de abril. Águas mil, literally in April, 1,000 waters. I think it should have been em abril, chuvas mil. So there you go. Yeah. Very good. Very good. Look, the football talk continues. Pep Guardiola's assistants do so well. Look at Arteta. You could be finishing at the dizzying heights of 8th place. The football banter continues. That's a really special birthday, Carl. What's that? When I start drinking again, possibly. All that money and people are trading between heating or eating. This is a crazy world. It's true, isn't it? July 7th, Carl is a Cancerian. That explains so much. Yes, sensitive. So sensitive. I have a Cancer Keto too. Love them, actually. We know that. Tesla, US government subsidy for the second time. Whatever that is. I'm not even going to try and read that. It's eye-wateringly big, that number. How do you spend 36 billion? I swear I have no idea, but I'd like to find out. Absolutely right.
Oh, if you get it, you'll have your ideas. Don't you worry about it.
Yeah, there are many comments here that I can't read this morning after your lavatory paper comments. But another thing you wanted to speak about this morning was, as well as non-alcoholic beers, probably not what you're going to have when you're a Brit going for a curry. Why are most Brits disappointed with the quality of Indian food in Portugal? It's very niche, that, but very interesting, Frank. Why?
I've been hearing it. I'm not sure if it's because of the BIR restaurant. This is the first time I'd heard about it. BIR restaurant craze, like the British Indian restaurants.
Okay, yeah.
Because I didn't realize there was something called British Indian. I just thought it was Indian restaurants. But there's a specific palate for, or a specific crowd for that palate, and they go for it. Over here, for some reason, and I'm very surprised, in Algarve, there aren't very good Indian restaurants. Overall, in Portugal, I haven't seen Indian restaurants of the standard that you see in North America or in the UK.
Okay, and of the standard, as in not the taste you're accustomed to, or are you saying they're not very good?
At least some authenticity as far as the taste goes. I've seen in Portugal the same way I saw in Brazil. They a lot of the Asian tastes, or a lot of the Asian palate is not easily available.
Okay, very interesting. Because of course the BIR, I've heard of that either, but curries have been created for the British palate, haven't they? Like the tikka masala, which I don't think existed inside.
The reason why it had to be done is because it's usually in a lot of Indian restaurants in the UK, it usually gets paired with wine, which is kind of laughable in India, because in India there is, if you said to someone, hey, there's spicy food and I'm going to put some alcohol with it, yeah, they'll drink beer with it in Indian restaurants. But in India, what they drink is a yogurt drink called lassi, and this is what it's usually paired with. But a lot of British Indian restaurants, it's paired with a kind of sweet wine that works very well.
Okay, and in North America, what's the vibe there then with Indian food?
With in North America, just like in the UK, like let's say if in London, when you go around Southall, it's pretty much like you're walking around in Mumbai. The same thing in most North American cities. You've got very authentic food, and you've got restaurants that are very rustic. They will have a very, very authentic stuff, or they are curated for a certain palate.
Okay, look at this, Frank. You have some invitations here, Frank, having stirred that. I was stirring the Balti pot there, to use the right sort of metaphor. You've yet to try Chris's Indian curry, so there's a nice invitation for you.
There you go. Oh, Jack.
Amazing food, as good as the best in the US. Not just my opinion, says Rebel Mama.
I will have to try that, Rebel Mama.
When are you coming to see me? We'll go along there. I'm happy with the Indian restaurant I go to. Little India in Nazaré is fab. They did previously have a restaurant in Glasgow. Well, if they survived in Govan, I suppose they can survive anywhere, right? I had an attractive. I don't know why I said attractive there. I had an English theatre arts teacher over the phone. She gave a list of sound effects to find. Next day, this is random, isn't it? Next day, I told her I could not find a laboratory flush. Yes, that's different to a lavatory flush. I said, what's that? What course was this where the arts teacher gives you missions over the phone like that? That's a crazy.
That's an arts teacher with a lot of time on her hands, or his hands.
So, yes. Giggled all the way through this morning's broadcast. Great guest. Thanks all. Oh, it's been fun. Always fun to have Frank here. And Cindy B, of course, this morning. Marketing alert, alcoholic lassie.
There you go.
That's like
it's
I guess
always Garvo. It's always Garvo with creativity. I think it stems from, if Garvo right now is in the man cave around the pole, he's coming up with something creative, don't you think?
I do, and I like that. It's not a million miles from a pina colada, of course, is it? You know, that fruity, creamy texture of the lassie. It's a great idea.
Pina colada. Yep.
Yes, and getting caught in the rain, as you will do at the moment here in Portugal. Portugal needs more Sikh Indian immigrants, the best cooks. So We're going into real special. A lot of Nepalese restaurants here in Portugal. I do like the Nepalese food. Indian food is a little bit of too broad a brushstroke, isn't it? Of course, it does include many types of cuisine. Just
regional, like because the one thing is that, well, that's one of the things that I'm talking about is when we are talking about Indian food, anyone who puts some cumin, a little bit of coriander, whatever in it, they start calling it Indian food. Meanwhile, in many countries in the Middle East, both of these ingredients are used. It can't be called Indian food. Indian food is a lot about regional cooking.
Yes, of course. Same with Chinese, of course. It's too broad a category to say Chinese, but you got to start somewhere. A year without drink, a year without alcohol would drive me to drink. Well, hey, T-Duck. And Sanford Jones is here. Ice cold beer party in Portimao, July the 7th. That sounds like a pretty good invitation.
That is a plan, Sanford.
It is. Do you know Sanford?
No, but I can get to know him. He's got a party going, isn't he?
By the sound of it, yes. And we're all invited, folks. And Cindy B will kick it off officially in her celebration.
Speaking of that, when are you coming down to the only place that I know when you come over here, you'll be like, Frank, what's going on? Why have I not been here? And I'm not leaving, Frank, by the way. I've got a room ready for you to go. Like, you know, you'd be over there. You'd be like, I'm just calling home. I'm not going back.
That is my fear. Another a bad case of San Martino de Porto syndrome, where you go there and you think, I just want to live here. That is what I'm afraid of. The coconut lassi in Little India is delicious. That's the Nazaré restaurant. Fondle the like button. Don't lick it, as an earlier serving suggestion for the like button. Please don't do that.
Oh, we got some fondlers today. Go ahead. What were you saying, Carl?
Are you celebrating on Monday? Portugal's Freedom Day, of course. I found something local for you, Frank. Portimao's revamped fish market reopens on Freedom Day. So there's a reason to get out.
I passed by there yesterday, as you do.
Yeah, what's going on?
It's been revamped. I can confirm the news. That's what I do for you.
Our man on the ground, the Lotta, will be the highlight of the town's Freedom Day celebrations next Monday. The Carnation Revolution celebrations, of course. Freedom Day in Portugal. The ceremony is scheduled for 10:30 a.m. at the building. That's early, isn't it? which will be open to
Nice.
visits from the public all day. The €960,000 renovation work carried out last year aimed to transform the building into a dynamic and versatile space. Versatile, if you're North American. Prepared to host cultural projects, festivities, commemorations. Cindy May, this needs to be in your address book, and events linked to local regional traditions. Although the original traits of the building were preserved, the roof was replaced and its walls were strengthened. The revamped ground floor will be used as a multi-purpose room capable of hosting a variety of cultural events. They've really stretched this out. This press release is very good. Built in 1916 to house the town's first power station, the building was reconverted in the 50s.
Let it go. Let it go.
Turned into a fish market. No, hold on. By the end of the 1980s, I imagine there's a big finish on this press release. By the end of the 1980s, it was used to house
Mr.
sardines.
Big Finish here. Okay, go ahead.
It was finally abandoned. Here we go. Portimao will also host its usual Corrida de Libertad, the Freedom Run, on April the 25th at 10 a.m. along the riverside. Those interested in signing up. So you can go for a run in Portimao on Monday.
This fish museum is right across the street from a very famous socialist bar, a beautiful bar. I've sent you a picture of this socialist bar, right?
No, tell us about that.
It's wonderful. It's you go over there and you see many socialists like yourself, like myself, or former socialists. You know, like you go in and you hang out, and beers are cheap, and the conversation is interesting.
Okay, all right. So there's another invitation. So much to do there.
There's so much to do in Portimao. I'm telling you, you are not leaving when you come over here. You would be like, I'm calling Mrs. M. This is it. Pack your bags. Just where are we living? Is wherever, Frank. Don't worry about it.
I am. That is exactly what I'm worried about. Bang Lassie. Now, is that a 420 kind of reference there? So that's a relaxing welcome, I think, possibly.
Take it easy, Gary.
Carl,
you don't bang lassies. You just drink them.
No, we got it. We got it, Suze. The laboratory and lavatory confusion there. We were just interested in the course you were doing. What's your verdict on Cairo, Car? I like it a lot. I have enjoyed food from Cairo here in Caldas or nearby Caldas. Frank, need to attend the party on the beach later this year. So I think I think the band are going to be getting back together. It's going to be like the Blues Brothers and a reunion in Portimao, right? You can get a pork vindaloo, just in the way that it's a bit weird to drink wine with curry. In Goa, you can get a pork vindaloo. That is a bit weird, isn't it? That doesn't work culturally in so many ways.
Goa, with its Portuguese influence. Goan food, very spicy, lots of coconut milk in it. Very beautiful food.
Indeed. We are after 10 o'clock. We need to let you go and get back to probably a changeover at the Airbnb or something like that, right, Frank?
No, for you, there's no. I canceled everything. I was like, I'm with Carl Munson. We're not doing none of that today. We are just concentrating.
For you, I'm not changing the sheets. If you get time, could you show them again, please? And this leads me to my final question for you, Frank. How are you celebrating? We didn't go to the controversial area of Portugal's continuing rising property prices. We'll have to hold that for next time when you come back.
Next time.
But let me ask you, whilst I show pictures of Rebel Mama's balcony, not a euphemism, how will you be celebrating next Monday, Freedom Day here in Portugal?
Well, Freedom Day usually is a huge day for the Portuguese and for the nudists. So I think I'm going to run around the beach naked. I think that's one of the things.
What a fabulous announcement. There you go. 25 de Abril sempre.
Yes, join me.
Portugal. The invitation is there then for a naked run on the beach at Portimao.
We had discussed this Freedom Day, like free yourself from your clothing, from all things. And you had said we no, not interested.
Nothing to lose but your underpants by the sound of it. Monday in the south of Portugal, everybody. Join Frank or just watch Frank streaking.
No, join me, you perverts. You'll enjoy it.
Join me, perverts. What a lovely invitation. Frank, great fun to be with you this morning. We look forward to the passing of the kidney stones celebration or not, as the case may be. That's beautiful, Rebel Mama. And of course, I will play the Thirst for Freedom Overcame All Fears video as my tribute to the Freedom Day celebrations on Monday. Bon fin de semana to you, amigo. Frank, thank you for being here. That's very serious. And all the best to you, and love to Rachel.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
And thank you, everybody, this morning for so wholeheartedly taking part in this show after we overcame the thirst for freedom, overcame all technical difficulties this morning. Let's go out with this wonderful tribute then to Freedom Day here in Portugal. Frank, love you, mate. See you soon.
Thank you. See you.
Catch up. Bye.
On the 25th of April, the MFA announced that the people should remain at home because they feared armed confrontations on the street. But the Portuguese population clearly disobeyed the military orders to stay at home because the thirst for freedom overcame all fears. And so people took the streets to the thousands and supported the military coup to force the resignation of the leader of the regime. The people brought red carnations and distributed them to the soldiers, who stuck them in their rifle barrels, making the flower the symbol of the revolution. The revolutionary process of 74 and 75 was one of the liveliest experiences in Portuguese history. In 19 months, there were 2 failed coups, 6 provisional governments, the process of independence of the colonies, several mass strike waves, demonstrations, occupations of thousands of houses, a profound agricultural reform, occupations of land, the creation of workers' cooperatives, workers' councils, trade unions, neighborhood commissions, self-managed factories, businesses, offices, newspapers, and radios. Because the thirst for freedom overcame all fears.